Well, you just gave me four topics to talk about, so I hope you have 45 minutes, and according to you. But no, we did. We made one more trip. Weren't overly excited about it. How that trip actually came about. We were supposed to play Shattern State, and they ended up going to play Colorado State instead. So we went from our closest trip to going down, I guess other than Black Hills, to going down to Shattern State and playing in a game to going to Alamosa, Mexico, or wherever Alamosa is. So it's a long ways down there, a long ways south, and jumped in the bus and head down there to play. I think they're ranked even 14 in the country at one time this year, and when we played them, they were second in the RMAC, and they were very, very good. So we knew we had our hands full, like I've told a bunch of people, is even if we have the four guys that are basically back here, plus even a couple other ones that have been playing pretty well and all that kind of thing, we still would have had our hands full. There's no doubt about it. I think we would have been able to compete a little bit better, but I also felt like we should have been able to compete a little bit better with the guys we had there. They're just extremely athletic. Didn't handle it right off the bat. I think they scored like 8 of their first 9 possessions, and we hang our hats on the defensive side, so that's not a very good start. We knew we were going to struggle scoring, but yeah, we got through that game and got back home. Obviously talked to the guys about what needs to happen in the spring here, in the summer, going forward, and we'll have some individual meetings and things, and we're excited about next year. Excited about the guys in our program. Excited what we did this year. Like I told them, I was frustrated as anybody after that game because I knew we could have played better. We should have played better. We were capable of playing better, and just didn't. But after we got all settled down in the locker room, I had to thank them for the season that we had, because to win 17 games and having only a couple guys back from last year, and the road trips and all the things that we've talked about this year, it's been an unbelievable year. There's no doubt about it. So I know the guys are pretty proud of that, even though disappointed how it ended. But obviously happy with the results of the overall wins and losses, and just getting better. Every day in practice, we got a chance to compete and things, and we had a number of guys, and when you can go 3 teams deep in practice and have that competitiveness every day, guys had to get better, and they did. So that was the exciting part of it. But like I said, now it's time to start looking forward to that. And like Tom said, with our recruiting, we got home at about 5 in the morning, I suppose, on Sunday morning, and I had to leave bright and early Monday and head out recruiting. So, I was up in North Dakota for the night. I had 3 games up there. I went and watched some teams play, and was planning on staying there and getting some sleep because I knew it was going to be long. And I said, the heck with this. I want to see my daughters in the morning, and drove back home. So I got home wee hours of the morning again, but that's the deal you go through right now, and we've all been through that, and it's, like I said, part of the deal for recruiting. So we're excited about that. We got a chance to see one of our kids, the Trevor Zocker, the kid that we've signed up there, play. He won the district championship. Their team's undefeated. Playing extremely well and doing some good things, but they play up in Dickinson to go to a state tournament next week. Regional tournament for another young man that we signed, Aaron Collins, is the 7th and 8th, I think, up in North Dakota. They're WDA up there. And then, like I said, we got a verbal from a young man that we can't talk about, and a couple other guys that we're looking at. We got one of our football guys that's going to get an opportunity to come in and play. I don't know if we can talk to him about that, or he's signed with them, so I don't know the rules exactly, but we'll leave it at that. But we're excited about him too, and joining us after the football. As much as I like getting up after, bright and early in the morning and driving 5 hours and getting home late in the, early in the morning again, if football wants to recruit 4 or 5 guys a year for us, we'll take them. So keep that in mind, Stacy. When you're out on the road, you bring in some guys. If they're that good of players and things, I have no problem with that. Schedule-wise, I think was the other thing. We're getting pretty close to finishing up. We had a lot of home and homes scheduled. What that means is we play at their place one year, then they come back to ours the next year. With the rotations and things, we're basically 2-year agreements with these teams, and so we have 7, 8 of them coming back from us playing them this year. The Sioux Falls, Augustana, is coming back up here next year. We actually have Colorado Mines coming up here, which is a 2-year deal, but they're starting up here, and then we go back down there. That's the first time I've been able to get them up here. Usually, those of you that know scheduling, is the RMAC and the Northern Sun, they play 22 games, conference games, so they only get 26, so they're 4 games. They basically want to play at home. And I've been able to convince the USFs and the Augies and the Mines and some of those guys to, hey, do this for 1 or 2 years, and away we go. So pretty fortunate to get those guys up here next year. Some other teams, we got some goofy teams that we've never played before, whether it's University of Arkansas, Fort Smith, a couple of the Lone Star teams. We'll be down in Dallas a couple times. And a couple of those teams are looking at actually coming up here because they need some games as well. So we'll see how it all shakes out, but not a bad schedule for next year. Like I've told everybody, though, is I'm so excited about our team that's coming back, and everybody is excited about them with, having Dietz and Kilburn back, and, of course, Shockman and the guys that, we've seen play this year. Connor Koulis, and I know we've talked about redshirting and stuff, but Connor Koulis, Philip Shanelek, I think led us in scoring every game since semester time, and they're 2 of the freshmen that obviously we're expecting, high expectations for as well. But so yeah, we got a good bunch coming back, but I just scheduled this morning, or hopefully it's done, with 2 other teams down in Texas, and of course I'm looking at their schedule and the Lone Star and where they're at. One of them's second and one of them's third. So, you go back to playing all the top teams in the conference, like playing in Adams State and playing some of those that will play us. It's great. We're going to get games, but they're also going to be against the top 5 teams in probably their conferences all the time. So that's kind of the struggle. And it's, of course, a lot of them are at their place. A couple of them that aren't, Minot, Mary, we play next year. They're, bottom half of their conferences right now. Shatter and BH even, bottom of their conferences. All 4 of those games are on the road. So, you finally get some opportunities to play some of those teams, and of course, they're on the road next year. But it is what it is. We're excited about guys coming back. We're excited about starting postseason stuff here now. Excited to get some kids on campus. We're still looking for a couple guys, and have some opportunities to get a couple of them on campus and see what we have to offer. It's just an unbelievable school, and the opportunities that those kids have. And once they do get up here, whether they're from Texas or they're from Arizona and they don't know much about South Dakota School of Mines, they get up here and they're just like, holy cows, this is exactly what I'm looking for, and they get excited about it. Right now, some of those kids are going, this guy from South Dakota is seriously still calling me, kind of thing. So hopefully we get them up here soon and show them what we have to offer. Once we do get them on campus, we like to think we have a great shot at getting them here. So, yeah, that's pretty much what's going on in the basketball world right now. Yes.
Coach, you have these redshirt players coming back. So how many players do you hope to have on your team or at practice? How many does that need to be on?
Well, it's a great question. This last year, as far as the question was, how many kids do you have on the roster? And well, the difference with last year, and we actually kept a couple extra guys last year than we usually do, and a lot of that had to do with we redshirted seniors, which, I've never done it before, and it just doesn't happen unless you have an injury or something goofy happens. So this last year, we kept 19 guys, and then we had a kid show up that hadn't played for us for 4 years, AJ Treadlepole, and weren't counting on him. So, we're counting on 18 and planning on that, or even 17. We got another kid that was kind of late too. But, so yeah, to answer your question is, I think it's going to be another year with that many people. I'm not a big fan of it. But there's a lot of benefits to it too. I like keeping 16 guys, and now we're keeping an extra 3. You don't think, oh, an extra 3 guys, that's that big a deal. Well, you go to our practices and it's full all the way along. I joke with my assistants, with Eric and TJ all the time. I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me. Look at all these guys out here. But when we had so many injuries last year, and we're practicing with 9 guys, and Coach Glenn's jumping in there. I didn't want that to happen again. It was never going to happen again in our program. But we also only kept 15 guys at the time too. So if we would have kept just one more guy, those kind of things. So there's a lot of stuff that goes with it. The best part about keeping a bunch of guys is your practices are unbelievably more competitive, I believe. You don't worry so much about injuries. You can sub guys in that, hey, next man up. Sometimes the next man up is a post because you're out of guards if guys get hurt and things. So I like that. The disadvantage is we play with 5 guys. In football, I always said that in high school, you can kind of get away with it a little bit more. 11 guys here, 11 guys there. You can always maybe throw a guy. I'm talking to a special teams guy. You can throw a guy in on the football kickoff or whatever, and it's not that big a deal. Well, we obviously know it's a big deal, but you can find that a guy that busts his butt and works his tail off every day in practice, he might have some opportunity to maybe get on the field. In basketball, if you keep that many guys, you start to have a problem. So our guys have really bought into that, and knock on wood, next year we're actually looking for so-called supplemental schedule too, and maybe find some different games for these kids that were red shirts this year. Great core coming back with 8-9 guys. There's a good chance a lot of those freshmen this year redshirting aren't going to have a lot of opportunity to play because we have a lot of juniors and seniors too. So hopefully in the near future we can get back down to that 15, 16 guys again. But next year I'm planning on keeping 19 again, and we'll see what happens. We still have our individual meetings too, and some of the guys might see the writing on the wall. Some of the guys, may or may not want to put in the extra effort, knowing, holy gosh, I'm 3 people behind as far as playing time and that kind of thing too. So they make that decision for themselves. So, yeah. Yes, sir.
Do you think many of your kids will stick around this summer, or not at all?
Well, we were just talking about that. Yeah, kids sticking around the summer, and 2 things with that as well is at a D2 and a D1 program, I bet 90 to even 95% of them keep their kids around in the summer. We've always taken in, even before we were at Division II, is our kids are different. There's no doubt about it. I mean, we're an academic school. It's academic first and second in my mind. I like probably academic first, second, third, and then they get to play basketball. But a lot of the kids, obviously, basically all our kids here that come to our school are here because of the basketball side of it too. As much as we want to think it's academic that got them here and that's the only reason they're here, and oh yeah, let's go play basketball. At our level now, it doesn't work that way. They want to find a place to play basketball and to get the academics that they want. So we've been very, very fortunate that way. But that being said, they still understand 5 years from now, sure, they might go play overseas. Sure, they might go do something for a few years and that kind of thing. But bottom line is they want to get their degree, get out of here, go make some money and that kind of thing. So what I tell our guys is, number one, we don't keep them around. All our guys aren't on full ride scholarships. So if I have 10 guys, 12 guys on full ride scholarships, I can kind of tell them what they're going to do and stick around and stay here like a lot of schools do. But if they have an opportunity to go to an internship, if they have an opportunity to go make $15 an hour, or not make anything, but they get to work with a company that could possibly hire them in a year, 3 years, whatever, I'm the last guy that's going to tell them, no, you need to stay here, work with me, get better in basketball and all that kind of stuff, and then not have that opportunity to, 1, make money to help pay for school, but 2, go work for a company that you probably want to work for down the road, and now they can see what you can do. So for us to win maybe 1, 2 more games, whatever that results with of keeping them around, I would never do that to a kid. And it's kind of nice to be able to do that here. After their freshman year, they basically want to go home and see mom, see their high school friends. They still have big ties back there. So a lot of them will go home for that. They won't be because they're internships, but then they're between their sophomore and junior year. They might want to get caught back up in school, and we have a tendency to keep 8 to even 12 guys around between their sophomore and junior year. Well, we don't have a lot of those kids right now. And then between their junior and senior year, of course, that's when they're doing their internships. So it is. It's believe me, I'd love to keep them around. I'd love to have my thumb on knowing that they're in the gym every day, knowing that they're getting their weights done. But we send out their packet, and that's our expectations. Go back to the first question by Steve is another good reason to keep an extra 2 people around. Maybe is somebody looking over their shoulder, going, okay, well, I know that Steven's busting his butt working out right now, and he might be 3rd on the depth chart and I'm only 2nd if I'm not doing anything, and he's busting his butt in the summer. Maybe that's some more motivation as well, to keep a couple extra guys. If they know they got that spot, they don't, they're a junior. Sometimes, it's not as big a deal to do stuff in the summer. But so, yeah, a little bit different here than a lot of other Division II and Division I schools, but I think that's a good thing too. They're probably sick of me by then too. They want to definitely get away. Anything else? once again, hopefully we can do this again next year, and most of you can make it back. It's great seeing you all. Send me an email, give me a phone call if you're wandering around too and you got questions about recruiting, and we'll start getting the stuff released. Our signing period isn't until April, so we can't release stuff. We got one other guy that we still can release from the first time, but to talk about recruits and stuff, we can talk to you individually and things, but we'll get that stuff released in the next or anytime after April. So, all right, thank you much.